What's going on, everybody? It's January 5th, 2026. Um, Kids go back to school today. A lot of people go back to work today. Was off for a couple of weeks. I wasn't off. I was just only off on the holidays, so it's just a normal day for me. But the kids back to school, so that was different this morning. Getting everybody back and dressed and ready to go. That was cool. 2026 so far has been all right. Um, our crazy ass president winning. I don't know the whole gist of the whole Venezuelan thing. I mean, I keep up with politics. I keep up with the crazy things that the guy does, and I vote and everything. But not really. I mean, what I get from it is he went and I guess apprehended the president of Venezuela, accusing him of running drugs, basically. I guess, and but everybody says it's a ploy for to get the oil from Venezuela and stuff like that. And I'm sure I wouldn't put it past this president, but it's crazy. I mean, you could just go to another country and have another president arrested. That's nuts to me. But hey, that's Mr. Trump. He does what he wants, right? So I'm not gonna touch too much on that. I'm trying to keep 2026 and my podcast a little, on the happy notes. I like to. That's one thing I want my podcast to be is talk about the happy things in life and different categories. But he's a crazy person, so we'll just let him keep being crazy, and that's our president. That's what represents the good old U.S. of A. So, all right. I want to talk about um another thing. Like I said, I'm on the internet a lot. Everybody is. We all, on our TikToks and on our Facebooks. Facebook, I keep up with family members and friends. Instagram, I think I keep up when I try to keep up with the entertainment because a lot of people are on Instagram. I like entertainers that I, keep up with and stuff like that. And then TikTok is just, I don't know. TikTok is very entertaining. I don't care who you are. TikTok from every because everybody can be on TikTok and make a video, and everybody gets on TikTok and make a video. I've made TikTok videos with my kids dancing and different things. I've done TikTok jokes and TikTok trends, and I think it's fun. I think it's fun. It can get unhealthy if you let it. But all in all, I think TikTok is fun, and I see a lot of things on TikTok from every category, from child rearing to vacationing to food to dating and all that. And the one thing I've seen on TikTok a lot is a lot of people, a lot of women get on there and say I see dudes too. That's what's crazy. That say that people that are older, 40 plus like myself that play video games um that we're I don't know weird or childish or whatever. And I really never understood that. Plus, mostly the people that are 40 plus that do play video games into like their 50s, maybe even 60s, we are the ones that started this shit. Basically, seriously, all the video game developers that develop video games and make video games. I'm sure there's younger ones there that keep the tradition, going or keep the business, flowing, keep it going, But most likely, ColecoVision. That's how far back I go, and Atari. All that was started by people a little older, but still that generation of video games, especially with the Sega Genesis and the Nintendo, those were probably developed by 20-year olds that were 20 at the time, or even younger, and developed into this whole big thing, billion-dollar industry that's gaming. But gaming was basically started. Maybe a lot of people that started got into the industry and made like significant um contributions to the gaming industry are 46, 47 year, 50 in 50s now and stuff like that. So for us, the ones that you didn't develop anything, but that played the games and was there when like I said, I had a ColecoVision, I had an Atari, I had a Sega Master System, I had a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, um, Genesis. All those games, were made when we were kids, when we were teenagers, and yeah, I don't see the reason why you should stop doing it just because you're a little older, because you're in your 40s. That doesn't. Why is that weird? Like, why? You people have their hobbies, um, from tennis to pickleball to just hobbies. Period. I mean, people, you have your niche, you have your thing that you do that and that you enjoy, and you do that, to get away from the world, to put yourself in different situations that you wouldn't be able to put yourself in life. You know, some are violent, some are not violent. Sports games, and then you have your games when you go around robbing people like GTA, but at least you're keeping it in home and on your system, and not actually going out and robbing people. You're not actually going out and shooting people like in the Call of Duty games, or the military games, or the games when you are using um some kind of weapon or something like that. You're not allowed doing it in real life. So you're living vicariously through these characters and through these games, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. I don't think anything's weird about that. But you got and the people that let it consume them, I guess that would rather do that than spend time with their family and spend time with their girlfriends and spend everybody that's dated or have their significant other certain have certain times when they've, oh, all you do is play that game, blah 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 blah. I honestly have never had that issue with my wife, current wife. So girlfriend, I don't know. Either I took the time to do both, because you can't take the time to do both. You can't play your game and do things with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, stuff like that. But some people would rather be on the game rather than be with their girlfriend or their wife. And I think that's just different situations. Like, I think that just is just the person you're with. If you'd rather play video games than do things with, or um rather be on your game than be with the person that you're dating, or you're seeing, or that's your wife. If you'd rather be on the game than be with them, then maybe that's that person. Maybe they make you want to rather do that than be with them. That's a whole different conversation. That's a whole different. So in that situation, okay, but not all. Some people can play your video game with your friends and still keep a healthy relationship with your wife, girlfriend, significant other, children. I don't know. Yeah, there are times I'm playing my game and my kids come and, Daddy, no, 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 and I'll get up and do it and continue to play my game, but I won't shush them away. Like, yo, go away, I'm playing the game. Go away, Daddy. Even my wife, I've been playing my game. Like, can you do this, or try to spend time and split the time. Split the time. That's basically what you could do when you know have your gaming time. But I mean, some people, I don't know. Some people, I guess, they'll complain about the ones that let it consume them, or I don't know. But when people get on the games, it's like, oh, you too old to be playing games, or those videos of people like things that you shouldn't be doing in your 40s, and I see a lot of them is like, you shouldn't be playing video games anymore. Well, f you, buddy. I'm going to continue playing this game until I can not play anymore, and I don't see myself not being able to play video games unless my fingers stop working or my eyesight goes, God forbid, or whatever. But until then, I'm going to keep gaming, and it's going to be fun, and I'm going to instill in my kids the game if they want to. My kids don't play games at all, but I mean, if they did, I would encourage it, and like I said, make sure it doesn't consume them, and let them have fun with their lives. Well, I guess they do game. They play Roblox. That's a game, right? They don't. They play Roblox and all other online games that. I don't know. I think Roblox is the only ones. At least my girls, the only ones they play. But it's still a game, and it's still gaming, and I encourage it. So as long as they don't, spend up all my money on Roblox, and aren't being, in on inappropriate Roblox rooms, I'm okay with them gaming. But and I'm also okay with older people that game. And shout out all to my 40-plus-year-old gamers still out there, man. It's not weird. Don't let that those internet people keep you thinking that you're doing something weird or childish, man. You're doing something that's a lot of people do. A lot of people do. So you're not alone in the 40 plus gaming community. It's a lot of us out here. So keep it up and screw all those people that think it's you doing something weird. Y'all go do what y'all do, and we'll do our thing. So that's what I got to say about that. Like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. Um, the holidays has just passed. Everybody is wallets are recovering. um, slowly but surely. I'm good, good. But I want to talk about gift gift match. This is Let me explain what I'm saying. Like, do you when I was a kid, I'll say when I first started um when people started doing the Secret Santas at school and stuff like that. I remember in the 5th grade one time we did Secret Santa. You draw a name and not even no we it was Secret Santa, but we didn't draw names. We just the teacher asked everybody to bring a gift, and she's gonna put them all in the bag, and then we're gonna go around and everybody would pick a gift from the bag. So I remember maybe like 2 days before the 2 days before the last day of school before the Christmas break. I remember telling my mother, "Yeah, we're doing this thing in my class when we're gonna everybody's gonna bring in a gift and the teacher's gonna put it in their bag and then everybody will pick a gift from the bag and so everybody will get a gift from somebody in their class." Mom was like, "Okay, so what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. Let's go to the store and see." So we went to Michael's Toy World. Shout out to Dykeman Street. If you lived in Dykeman Street, Dykeman Projects, shout out. If you lived in Dykeman though, in that area growing up, you know Michael's Toy World. Michael's Toy World was a toy store that's was in Dykeman, had all the toys. That's where you went for your toys if you didn't go to Toys R Us or KB Toy Stores or anything else. But in our neighborhood, Michael's Toy World is where you went. They had all the toys. So I remember we went to Michael's Toy World right after my mother got off of work one day. Well, that day, 2 days before the Christmas thing, and we got I bought this little Batman LCD game. If you know the LCD game, a little portable. This is before Game Boy and everything. Little portable game that you played. I mean, it wasn't the best graphics in the world. It was always like horrible graphics, but it was a little LCD. You know what an LCD portable game was, and I bought the Batman one. It was Batman LCD game. All right. So I was excited. I wrapped it up and everything, and then the last day, like I said, we got to school the next day. I mean, not the next day, a couple that day, the day before Christmas break, and bought the gift. We had a Christmas party. We had Christmas cookies and food and all that stuff. It was great. It was a great day, and I was like, yeah, I got a good gift. I put a good gift in the bag, and somebody's gonna get a good gift from me. And I expected in return when I went in that bag that I was gonna get a great gift too, because I bought a good gift. So shit, why would nobody else bring a good gift, right? All right, so the teacher has the bag. I guess she mixed everything up when everybody had given the gifts before the party and everything. So the gift part of the party started. So she's walking around and giving the with the bag, and you reach in the bag. You didn't the bag wasn't see through, so you didn't know what you was getting. So you reach in the bag and get your gift. So I remember everybody reaching in getting their gifts, and people was pulling out all sorts of great stuff like Barbie dolls and um I remember I think somebody pulled out like a action figure of like the Thundercats or something like that, and a Silver Hawk. I remember it was just gifts going coming out of it. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get something awesome. And just me thinking that just because I bought a good gift, a good not a pricey gift, but my mother spent some money. It was probably about 17, 18, $19 plus tax, $20 gift. Like a little LCD game. So I'm thinking I did my thing. I'm gonna get a good gift. So the bag comes to me, and I'm like, all right, here it is, man. I reach in that bag and I grab um a really thick, it felt like it was something. So I was like, all right, I pulled it out. All right, now it was wrapped in um in paper, not just regular paper, like loose leaf paper. It seemed like somebody took like 5 pieces of loose leaf paper and just wrapped it up with tape. It was really, really taped. So I'm like, all right, first red flag. Okay, well, everybody can't afford or doesn't have gift wrapping in their house. All right, so they just wrapped it up in some paper. All right, all right, whatever. All right, so then I start. I put it on my desk because she wanted the teacher was there. I was like, okay, okay. So I start opening it up. I see. I'm looking around the room. Everybody is like I said, opening up Silver Hawks and different other things, Barbie dolls and Barbie accessories and all stuff like that. And I see the one kid. I don't even remember the kid's name anymore, man. This was in the 5th grade, but I know he had the Batman LCD game. His face was just like, oh man, this is what I'm saying. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, yeah, hit you off, didn't I? Hit you off. You got a good gift. You. And then I opened my gift. Yeah, it was scissors, and it wasn't like it was like some good scissors, like good scissors with like a plastic, handle and scissors, that you can use for like arts and crafts. No, it was like, you remember those steel scissors that like hurt your fingers that they gave you during arts and crafts and like back in the days in the 80s in the school? Those steel little scissors that weren't worth a damn. Yeah, that's what I got. A pair of scissors. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no!
I was pissed. I started crying immediately. Immediately, I started crying. I was like, no, this isn't happening. No, this isn't happening. I didn't um go and out my way to get somebody this a Batman LCD game for me to go home with a pair of fucking scissors. No, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. No, no. This is a dream. I'm about to wake up. Or this is a trick. This is a trick. Somebody put that in there. I was like, oh no, here's the real gift. They was just joking. But no, no. I got some scissors. So I immediately went to the teacher. I was like, this is what I got. So she looked, she's like, well, yeah, that was in the bag. I was like, no, no, no. This is what I got. And this is not gonna fly. I'm not going home with this. And I pointed to the kid. I remember pointing like, see that Batman LZ. I was like, I don't care. The Secret Santa is up. Fuck it. That the jig is up. I'm telling. Yeah, see that right there. I bought that. That's what I put in there, and I expect a equal gift. So what we gonna do about this, Teach? How we gonna settle this? And she was like, well, no, well, the rule is, you get what's in the bag. I was like, no, the rule is that you get a good gift when you give a good gift. That's how that works. So all in all, I didn't get. I went home with my scissors because the teacher was like, "Well, I'm sorry. That's what was somebody put in the bag." Until this day, I don't know who put those scissors in that bag, but if you use a cheap some bitch, I don't care how old you were, you could have. A coloring book would have been better than a pair of scissors than what I got. So I started this to say this with the gift matching. So I guess going into my 20s and my teenage life, I always felt you had to give a good gift to get a good gift. And so I would always give at least, good gifts, and in return I got a good, gift back. But as I got older, I learned that it was, to me, it was, you got to learn, it was this it's the thought that somebody thought to give you something. So never judge whatever they can afford to give you. I learned that in my 20s. I don't know, it's just you can like going through a lot of Secret Santas as I started getting jobs and working with people and stuff like that. And you still had people that are like, oh, this is what I get, and you had some people that started. I mean, people start the price, I guess, they set a price like $20 and stuff like that. I remember one year when I started working for Children's Aid Society, and we did Secret Santa, and I got an Old Navy fleece, and I was so excited. Like, oh, yeah, that's when the Old Navy started doing the fleeces, and I got somebody, was my Secret Santa, and got me an Old Navy fleece, and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is, thank you, thank you, thank you, you know. And then I appreciated it. And then I was in my 20s. I was living on my own, so I really didn't have a lot of good winter clothes, and that fleece came through, man, on very cold nights and stuff like that when I was working at my other jobs and like that. So the thought that counts. So I was very happy for that fleece. And as I got older, I just appreciate gifts. And now I'm in my 40s. I love any kind of gifts. Like now, people buy me socks and underwear. And as a kid, you would hate that shit. But socks and underwear, that is clutch during the holidays. That is clutch. Now, my wife, being the awesome giver that she's been, even when before we were married, we were dating. I don't know. She's, even to her family, she's the best. I don't know. There's people, of course, you're gonna consider your family members, but to me, she's the best gift getter. She hits it on the nose every year for Christmas, and always on my birthday. She's great. She's the ultimate gift giver, and I always feel like I still try to have to match her, and it's hard to match her when she like gets me something, and I'm like, oh, and I think I got it. I'm like, yeah, this is, and I'm not in competition. I just want to, show her I think about gifts as much as she thinks about gifts. So I feel like if I get her something that's underwhelming and she get me something that's like, oh, I feel like, I didn't do well. But she tells me, as long as it's from you, it's fine. And I feel the same way with her, as long as it's from her, even though she never underwhelms with the gifts. I'm always grateful, and it's always something I was thinking about or saw or she thought about I'd like, and she always hits it on the nose. So. But I try to teach my kids that it doesn't matter. If somebody gets you something, then be grateful for what they got you because they thought about you. Um, Only thing I don't know because my oldest had two Secret Santas, and she spent a lot of money, her money too, on Secret Santas. And honestly, I'm gonna say she showed me what she got back in return, and I hope if she ever hears this, I'm like, I don't think she was matched, and I'm no like I just contradicted myself saying I hope it's just what they get you, but still, man, she spent she spent her earned money from between her allowance and the money that people give her for gifts and stuff like that. And Blake is not like these, she's not like a very materialistic girl. She saves her money and she sees something and she's gonna buy it. She's gonna buy it because she saved up her money for it and stuff like that. And all she needs is a ride to whatever store it's at, and she'll buy it herself. So I'm very proud so far that we have not responsible, but somebody that um if they want something, they'll save up for. Just doesn't really. She's not really asking spoil. She's spoiled anyway, but that's for stuff she doesn't even ask for. But when she wants something, she'll buy it independently with her money if she really wants something. So I think that's cool about her. And she's not really a materialistic kind of girl when it comes to like clothes. She has her own little style and stuff like that. So really proud of her for that. Oh, that's kind of off the side, but like I said, I don't think she got what she should deserve to have gift what she spent on her Secret Santa. But gift matching, some people are like, yeah, you get me this, I need to get you that. Or to me, like I said, I'm a little older now, and I'm like, if you get me something, I'm fine with it. I am totally fine with if somebody takes enough time to think about me and use their money, hard earned money, especially during these times. A lot of people ain't got money like that, and they took the time to spend their money on me for something. I don't care if it's a freaking um phone charger. I don't know, whatever, everyday things. I don't care. You thought of me and bought me something, and I appreciate um the thought. I really believe in it. It's the thought that counts. So I think a lot of us should not always be excuse me, so materialistic about gifts. The thought that counts. Don't call people cheap. All right. Next. I was watching or seeing. I guess everybody's seen the interview with what's the name Natalie Nunn and Cam Newton and the questions he was asking and the questions she didn't answer or whatever. And I don't know, I don't want to get on my podcasting and down people or talk about people. I mean, it's fun to make fun of people and talk about people, but I guess when you get in the public about it, you don't want to be that guy that gets on and talks about people. But I mean, sometimes you think about it, you think it, and you see it. And I've always, my wife watches the baddies and been keeping up with Natalie Nunn since I guess the Bad Girl when she first started the Bad Girls and all that stuff and stuff. And I think it's funny to watch. They get on TV and she knows what she's doing. She get on TV and they fight and argue and curse each other out and don't ever make it to wherever they going because they always fight and they don't ever make it to the club, or they do make it to the club. From what I watch, when I watch with my wife, and I see, I don't know, I just think it's funny, but that's her lane, and she's made a lot of money of it and very successful women about it. But I just, I don't know, she rubs me the wrong way. I wouldn't. It's not somebody I like. If I ever met, would be like, oh, there's Natalie Nunn. I'm like, oh, but keep it pushing, sis. That's your lane. I'm not gonna knock it. But I say that because it's she considers herself a baddie, and all of themselves people consider themselves um baddies on that show and baddies, and that's like a thing. You got to be a baddie, or are you a baddie? And to me, at least my preference, even has always been, I just want out, and I have. I'm not saying regular um woman is what I'm saying. Like I'm not trying to say I don't regular, but just I don't need the baddie stuff. Like and that's why I love my wife so much. She's just her. But for me, this is for me. I don't need you to have your nails done all the time. It's pretty, yes, but you don't. have to have your nails done all the time. They don't always have to be done. Um, your hair doesn't always have to be done. I'm not saying you come outside not combing and stuff. I'm just saying like those things. You don't have to be in designer heels and designer clothes, and it's cool to have, but that's not always what you have to be. This is just me. I just um I'm just the I mean, cause I like fashion and stuff like that and clothes, but not really high fashion. Um, I'm a regular. I consider myself a regular sneaker, t-shirt kind of guy. Um, I mean, I keep myself up. I think I have my own style, and I wear what I want to wear, and I think that's okay for her. She's never been like, oh, you need to, but this and it's equal. Like I don't the baddie versus the I hate to say regular because she's definitely not regular. She's exceptional. Um, Great mother. To me, she's the prettiest girl in the world, and that's all I need. But I don't. Yeah, I don't need a baddie. It seems like the baddies are the. I don't. You dudes be out here um wanting the baddies or looking for the baddies. Look, the baddies are the worst ones to have, man. They be tripping on that show. I'm just maybe that's just them on that show, but I don't know. When you put your name next to saying you're a baddie, it seems like that's a lot to deal with. A lot to what you call it. Like you couldn't the baddie. It seems like the baddies want to go to the top tier restaurants and eat the top tier food and wear the top tier clothes and want the top tier gifts, and that's a lot to keep up with. And if you have it, hey, you want to spend it and do all that for the baddies and with the baddies, then that's your thing. Do your thing. But for me, if I was out here, um, what's the slang term for in the streets? I just want a regular woman, man, that's gonna have fun with me and go places and do things and not minding the occasional fast food restaurant. Not always wanting the Ruth Chris or the high tier restaurants and the brunches and all that stuff, and just gonna like me and love me for me, and I have that, and I'm so glad I have that. And um, you guys that want those baddies, good luck, cause that looks rough, especially the ones that say they can't go to the Cheesecake Factory, they can't go to Applebee's, they can't go to any of these places. I'm not saying these are the greatest places, and you should, but I'm just saying, damn, you gotta have top tier all the time, every time, all the time. Um, that sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot. So like I said, baddies, I would rather uh woman that's going, like I said, be okay with getting clothes from Walmart. Walmart be having some cute stuff, man, for girls, man. But some people I won't be caught dead in that. But I don't know. It's just it's a different. But hey, to each his own, right? Like we say, right? Just don't, you know, be with who you want to be with. And if it's a baddie that you want to be with and you want to pursue, then Godspeed. All right. Another thing with the internet I see. Now I post um funny things that I'm thinking about. Um I post pictures of my kids and my wife a lot, our vacations, our day outs, our days at the movies, our day just being out, taking, just life, Um we post dances on TikTok. We haven't done it in a while. We probably should start doing that again. It was fun. Trying to introduce my kids to the '90s music, and show off my dad dance moves. But there's a lot of I see a lot of people that be putting on the stuff they whole entire life, from baby daddy drama to um what they spend and what they buy. And I mean I used to post sneakers. I mean, just because I'm a sneakerhead, and I know a lot of other sneakers heads, and just posting what you got and what you copped is cool and stuff like that. But I'm just talking about like people, they put their whole business out in the street and arguments that they had, and go live and talk about their whole life. No, does everybody have to know that? Like I think like without social. Let me ask this question: without social media, like Facebook and going live and stuff like that, would you have gone out like in your neighborhood and like stand on top of like a bench or a platform and like just blurt out everything that's going on in your household? Would you? Yeah, I mean, because that's basically in a sense what you're doing. And I'm not saying I'm not on Facebook and I'm not posting. I post but you will. I will never post anything personal or anything hurtful about somebody that I'm arguing with or feuding with. That's for face to face conversations and not for the world to know. But I don't. Some people are brave. Some people I can't see somebody being all well putting all my business out there like that. Like I said, it's like you basically going and telling everybody that you know your business, from baby mama, baby daddy drama to fights and arguments and I don't know, stuff that should just be it should be kept in your um personal, life. You shouldn't. I don't know. You should. I'm not saying you should. I wouldn't, but people do it. People be everything from especially the baby daddy and baby mama drama. That's crazy to me. Like I'm not going on anything with any argument with somebody that I'm involved with, especially with children and stuff like that, and getting on and telling what's going on. You don't do this and you don't do that, and they said this and they said that, and f this and f you that, and that's a lot. That's a lot. You shouldn't. I don't condone that at all. I think it's crazy when people do that, but it's entertaining though. It's entertaining. Don't act like when you people see people doing that shit, you be like, damn. Now you know you shouldn't be putting this on whatever social media outlet or whatever like that, but you still be following and watching it. That's my. I guess I shouldn't complain about people doing it, but I mean, if you're gonna put it out there and do it, I mean, I'm gonna see it. Like it's not. I mean, it's not like we ain't gonna see it. It's hard to ignore it, especially when I'm entertained by drama. We all love drama. We don't act. We don't. We wouldn't. Some of the things that we watch on TV, we wouldn't not watch if we didn't enjoy drama. So, and we love drama, especially with real people. We'd be like, ooh, ooh, like that whole tea thing. People love tea. People love tea. Iced tea, hot tea, ginseng tea. People like tea. So if you're gonna put tea out there, people are gonna have time to make time and look at your tea. If you're gonna put it out there, then F it, right? Might as well. I guess you not putting out there to be in it. I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand why you putting it out there. Like, why does everybody need to know um about your baby father? Why we need to know all that? Why we need to know what he not doing, what he is doing? Um, we really, I don't know. But hey, again, to each his own. That's if that's how you feel comfortable going through life and using your social media outlet, then continue to do it. I ain't mad at you like Tupac, right? I ain't mad at you. Um, all right, another. I'm I guess on my relationship kick. I'm not saying kick, but I mean letting my opinions be known. Gotta have topics for a podcast, right? So, I'm gonna touch on this, which it seems that it's coming to a lot of TV shows too. A lot of topics and TV shows, especially people in relationships. Married people, and I don't know. It seems like it's always the husband, so I'm gonna say married husbands or whatever that they're going through relationship problems. I guess sometimes in the bedroom, and to spice it up, the man will suggest having a threesome. Now, to me, this is just how Brandon Lee Scott feels about the whole situation. I think I'm sure every man has fantasized about being in a threesome, being with two women at the same time. All right, but I think, and this is just my opinion, that window closes once you get married. Once you put a ring on it. Once I think that window closes. I think that's it. You missed your shot. And me, I would never. Doesn't have even crossed my mind. I don't want to do that. No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Um, I can't see myself wanting to be with another woman, especially me loving my wife as much as I do. I couldn't see myself being with another woman. especially being with a woman in front of my wife. Like I'm satisfied enough with my wife. I don't. I mean, yeah, this is just how I feel. I mean, there's a lot of people dudes that can do that, and more power to you. That's just we're built different. I don't like sharing Oreos with my kids. I like Oreos. I like Doritos and Oreos and Gatorade. And for some reason, those are three things that my littlest one enjoys. And sometimes when she asks me, like, "But Daddy, I don't. These are my three favorite things in the world. Three of the favorite things in my world, including you. My daughter is one of my favorite things in the world. But I don't like sharing Gatorade and Oreos um with my kids. So why would I want to share sexual experiences with somebody else other than my wife? That's just how Brandon Lee Scott goes in life. Everybody else is different. That's just how B rolls. So I think it's kind of weird when married couples say they gonna have a threesome or have an open marriage and stuff like that. That's weird. It's weird as hell. Um and yeah, that's one something I wouldn't put on social media either. Like that's crazy. Then people express having well, like I said, I don't know. Keep that shit in your bedroom. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's different. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't express having or wanting a threesome on social media. That's crazy. I guess that's how people recruit, right? I don't know. Like I said, hey, everybody is different, man. Everybody has they thing. Like I have video games is my thing. So video games and cartoons and like I said, Oreos, Doritos. Um, my kids. I enjoy theme parks. I enjoy going to theme parks and riding roller coasters. And some people enjoy having threesomes and going to swinger parties and shit like that while they're married. So, like I said, I think that window closed once I got married. Just that's it. But hey, do you? If that puts a smile on your face and makes you happy, then god damn it, continue to do things that make you happy. And in your relationship, that might be healthy. That might be, But like we say, everybody lives their life different, and I just think that is hella weird. Being in a marriage and considering having a threesome. That's I mean, your boyfriend, girlfriend, yeah, you guys are in a relationship and you're experimenting and doing things. But I just think that when you're married and you have kids and that's just weird. But hey, everybody's different. Everybody is different. Um, I seen something today that was weird. This lady was saying how she was explaining what kind of man she wants, and she was like she wants him to be successful and have like a six-figure salary and um own different things and maybe have a business and stuff like that. And she wants him, and she was saying he should match her. I guess her worth financially and I guess their job, her job, and everything. And I'm thinking, oh, she's probably a boss also. No, she worked at like in retail. I'm not saying anything is wrong with retail, and you should always have dreams and aspirations, but it's weird that some people that have women, and I see they have. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that job that you have. There's nothing wrong with that job, but you have this job and say, I want my man um to do this, high paying, corporate, whatever, lawyer, whatever, doctor job, and I'm do this. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's I don't know. That's you asking a lot. This is what I see with single women now. That you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to be 6 foot tall, you have to be this, and just a lot of y'all missing out on really good guys by having a stand. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with setting a standard or something wrong with certain things that you would want in a man, but you setting these really really high standards is just putting you out of touch with what you could be getting. That's just what I think. I mean, I know a lot of good guys, and I work in the service industry, so I'm not around, and I'm around a lot of good dudes that make um regular salaries and not six-figure salaries. and they're really really good dudes, good fathers, good people. But they'll get looked over by some women because the women are looking for these big, huge, salary guys, 6 foot tall guys, and that's all. Like I said, that's all included if that's what you want. But I mean, give the little guy a chance. Sometimes you never know what you might find. That's my advice. I think I gave that advice probably last show. I've been pushing that, but I'm sorry to sound repetitive, but I hope you keep coming back and listening. To me, sounding repetitive to certain things. This podcasting thing ain't easy. Is as easy as people think it is, but like I said, I'm getting back out here, and um, I'm just gonna speak my mind and talk about topics that I think people want to hear. Um, I was talking about Stranger Things last show. I think I was. I will finally watch the finale. It was great, and I seen at the end of the finale. I'm sorry. Don't want to. It's not too much of a sport. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't talk about, but it. I mean, it's a spoiler, but not too much of a spoiler. It's not gonna mess everything up. But when you have childhood friends and you want to stay in touch with your childhood friends. I have childhood friends that I've known since we all grew up in the same project, and I've known since I was single digits, 5, 6 years old, and we've been rocking with each other since then, and still, have been rocking with each other. I just recently saw a few of them recently, a couple of weeks ago, at we all got together because of a funeral, but not gonna get too much into that. But like I said, we haven't seen each other. I mean, outside of social media, but we still know each other are alive. We still each other, are on Earth, and I think um boys and men, I don't know, keep in touch in different ways than women do. I'm not trying to start a whole argument or whatever. Women do this, women do that. I'm just saying we don't have to see each other or hear from each other too much to still once we see each other it's all rekindled. We was always fellas, we was always boys. It's just comes back when we see each other. But I say that to say this. It's hard, but it is hard to get together. Um Old friends together like in one place at one time. It's super hard because I mean between schedules and kids and stuff like that, it's hard. But when you do to get together, it's like y'all never was what's called like old jokes come up. Um Talk about your kids, talk about life, and it's like you never left. So a lot of people don't have that, and I've been blessed to have that in my core of friends. It doesn't matter um how long we haven't seen each other. It's like when we do see each other, it's back to old times. Old jokes come up and conversations about life um come up, and it's fun. It's cool. It's normal to have old friends that you can just see once a year, and still it's still like feels like you guys still back in the ninth grade. Um, but I want to tell a story about one of my childhood memories in the hood. So I'm gonna try to leave names out, but if you know me, you know this story and you remember it vividly, especially if you're in my core group of friends. So we went to a birthday party. It wasn't even probably a birthday party. It was just a hood party. It was a house party on another block. And regular, me and my friends, we probably shouldn't have been doing this, but we didn't care. We party's a party, so we would go to parties another block, thinking um it was cool to just go to somebody else's block and go to their parties. But it wasn't always like that. Especially with my group of friends. We liked we liked we enjoyed the company of Spanish girls. So I mean, we grew up in Dykeman, and Dykeman is a predominantly Spanish neighborhood, and you know that now. But I grew up in Dykeman when it wasn't Dykeman, when it was just Dykeman. Dykeman now is you hear come on rappers' names every other day, every other week. People are talking about coming to Dykeman, sports players, everything. Dykeman is the one of the places to be in New York City now, but it wasn't always like that. In the '90s, it was just a regular neighborhood. But we used to go to a lot of house parties, like I said, around the neighborhood, and so we went to this party when excuse me, we went to this party. one night, and everything was fine and dandy. I mean, it was all of us. My whole crew was about 8 of us, and I want to say it was 3 of the females that usually hang out with us was with us at the time. Go with us, we're gonna go to the party, dance on, and so we go into the party. So the vibe was already um kind of weird already, but we didn't care. We had that vibe all the time, especially like I said in the Spanish neighborhood when a bunch of black kids come to the Spanish party. It wasn't always love, and if you grew up in the projects and you grew up in Dykeman Street, it wasn't always love from all the blocks. I'm saying it might be love now, but that's another story. It's another topic. It wasn't always love. So we in the party dancing, getting our dance on and everything. So mm, honestly, we start kind of feeling the vibe. Like, maybe it's time to go. So we make our way to the door, go downstairs. We're just chilling. I think we went to the store or something. I don't know. Somebody eventually throws a ketchup bottle. Um, and a ketchup bottle explodes, and it gets on one of my friends' new white Guess jeans. I'm not gonna say who, but it was one of the hotheads. We only have one hothead in my crew, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to say any. I'm not saying any names. Names will be left out. So the ketchup bottle explodes and gets on my friend's white jeans. So he's like, "Oh, who the hell throw this bottle?" Blah, 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 blah. And we all like, all right. Yes, it's disrespectful to throw a bottle at somebody, but sometimes you have to take a L. I've taken, you have to take a L. I'm not, like I said, I'm far from the tough guy in my crew, and I'm always the first one. I'm like, oh well, hey, they threw the bottle, whatever. But this person is a hothead and not somebody that you would throw a bottle at because yeah, they're gonna try and retaliate or want to know who threw that bottle and which one. So he's like, F that. Who threw that shit? And darts into the building, the lobby of the building that they were in. And I mean, it was probably about 10, 15 Spanish cats in this building, in the lobby. So we're not going to let him go by himself. I'm already scared. I was scared when he threw the bottle. This is just me. This is how I be. If you know me, I'm not a fighter. So I'm already scared. Like, oh, why? Why they throw bottles at us? We should just leave. So we go into the building. We in there, and he's like, "Who the have throw the bottle?" So this big Spanish dude that was on that block. Not gonna say his name. I know his name, but he's like, "I threw the bottle, and what?" So again, this person, it's like, got on my jeans. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what were things where they go out. We end up outside and they start fighting. So they letting it fight the fair one. We let all right, y'all gonna fight, whatever. It's fair. So they fighting. My crew's on one side, and the other crew, the Spanish guys on their side, and the two, my friend and this dude is fighting. They fighting. It's a fair one. They shooting the fair. They shooting. So then, when my friend starts winning, winning the fight, he's fucking him up. They start trying to break it up, right? So when you try to break up a fight, but you not trying to break up a fight, it's like you tried to grab that person and like cause another fight. That's how they would try to break that fight up. Like you grabbing him a little bit too hard. You're not grabbing your bed. You grabbing my friend to stop beating your friend's ass a little bit too hard. That's not gonna fly with us. So I don't know. After the people, it just we're trying to grab him and get him away from people. It turns into a fight between us and them. So we're fighting. Everybody's fighting. I'm not fighting. I call myself kind of like pretending to fight, like, oh, or grab somebody, get off him. Like I said, I'm not a fighter. I'm not. This is not how B rolls or how B ever rolled. I mean, I'm not gonna let you hit me, but I don't know. Like I said, and I haven't been on a lot of shoot fights, so this might have been my first one. So we fighting. I'm trying not to fight or fight or trying to break up and grab people and get people off people. So I don't know what happened or what kind of Dominican alarm was hit or pressed or seen or what kind of bat signal was put up. But people start coming out of windows and out of alleys and back ways of buildings. I don't know where all these extra people came from, but they had golf clubs and bats and bottles, and I remember my big brother getting hit in the head with a. I never did turn around. God bless you, Scotty, and looking and seeing a bottle over his head, and he just kept fighting. I was like, "What is going on?" Like if somebody would hit me in the head with a bottle, I would have instantly fell on the floor and just laid there, like, "Oh God, they got me! Fight's over. They got me. They got me. They got me." But I don't know. We fighting, we fighting. So at this time, we're trying to fight our way off the block. So we're fighting. I'm just grabbing people. I grabbed my best friend, I remember, and he was like bleeding from the nose. I remember grabbing him, like, oh, yeah. So then at that point, we just ran. So we ran and ended up, we was at my best friend's house. And I remember just sitting there with people, we sitting there with washcloths, everybody sitting there, tending to their wounds and stuff like that. And I remember the girls that was with us, um, I'm not gonna say their names, they know who they are. They was with us. It's just like they just was sitting there. I think that's what made this next moment happen because they were just looking at us like shaking their heads like, dang, y'all just got the hell beat out of you. Like it was just this look at us like shaking their heads like, and I think that's what kind of triggered the next moment by one of my other friends was like, all right, man, we need to, you know, talk about retaliating. We need to go back up there. We need to go get this person and um get guns and stuff and stuff. And I'm like, first of all, who? We don't roll like that. Like none of us roll like that. We enjoy video games, basketball, girls, and the occasional spark up of blunts and marijuana at the time, and we um tried to be drinkers, and we got had to get people to buy alcohol for it unless it was a 40. But if we really wanted some kind of alcohol, we had to send somebody in a liquor store. Like I just was saying, this is our crew. We were the I'm not saying the goody two shoes of the neighborhood, but I mean we were the guys you didn't expect to get into a street fight. So I don't understand. This one friend was like, "Yeah, we need to do this, we need to do that," and I had to, kind of instill some reality into him. Like, look, that's not us. We don't roll like that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not us. Like this. And eventually, we took our ass beating. And honestly, it happened on the block that we worked on, so we had to go back up there the next day anyway. So and then everybody squashed it out, like, oh, this and that, this shouldn't have happened, blah 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 blah. And I'm friends to a lot of those people that we were speaking at and hit my brother in the bottle in the head with a bottle till this day. But I don't know. That's just a funny hood story, man, for me and my friends. We talk about it from time to time, and I tell people that story all the time. When we went to a house party and it turned into the Warriors. It seemed like the Warriors gang fight in the Warriors movie. And then a Tupac and Bishop, not a Bishop and Q moment at the end. We were at my friend's house talking about how we need to retaliate, how we we tired of running. We are the track team, like like Bishop was saying, but that just wasn't us, man. We went, my crew wasn't like that. And I'm not saying we was um like they say pussy, whatever. But that's a thrown around word that I look at now and it's like a lot of altercations and fights back in the days, especially in the '90s with black people, especially in the hood, would have stopped if somebody would just think about well, I can't let them think I'm pussy. I mean that's I don't know. I was able to be like, you know what? I don't care what you think. I'm gonna keep being B, and that's worked out for me. So hope a lot of the youth can get to hear this. It's not. I'm not saying it's all right. I'm not saying lay down, be a punk or whatever like that. I'm just saying sometimes it's like it's alright to not, to not retaliate, because that could just make the situation even worse. So if I touched anybody with that story, I hope that that little hood story hood did some good. It was scary at the time, but I think it was something that especially me and my crew needed to go through to make us the men we are today. There's your message. There's your message.
Amazing. Incredible. Outstanding. Amazing.
So that was that for my story from back in the day. So and that's today um third show. I'm like I said, I'm learning and I'm growing with this podcast thing, and I hope you give a listen. I hope I'm entertaining you. If you can listen to me at work or on your ride home from work, or in your living room or wherever you are, just keep listening. Friends, family, anybody that's wanna give me a try as your one of your podcast list that you listen to. I know I'm not Nori. I'm not one of these rappers, but I'm trying to get there. And I think what they doing is great, and I think I can do the same thing. So that's why I'm throwing my hat in this game. It's been 5 years. Go back and listen to my old episodes from the pandemic. The him from there. They're on Spotify and they're on Apple. So Apple Podcasts. Go and give my old episodes a listen. Um, they might be a little cleaner because I had a little better editing tools back then. But like I said, I'm learning again. So give me a listen, and hope your 2026 is going good. And I'll see you next show. Peace.